Hello everyone, Grand Rising. This is Sandy coming at you from the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. We are live and unscripted with Matt Thompson today, and we are here for another installment of Exhaleration, which is our chance to come together and simply breathe. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
This has become a beautiful ritual. I think we're about a year in. This is our second season.
I think it's just over a year. Yeah.
I think it has been. And something pretty exciting that happened this week that you don't even know about yet is I had my amazing content editor, Celine, go into the Irie Bliss Wellness YouTube page where I actually have a lot of content about how to create different products, you know, with cannabis and just some information about hemp. But what we did was we made playlists on there to connect you to PCS&M.
Oh, nice.
So now there's multiple ways to find us. You can either find us through Irie Bliss Wellness, through People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. Looks like we have a few people popping in. Hi, Anna. So Anna is also going to be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow, per usual, for our midweek reset, which is, again, another community class. Everything that we're aiming to do here is going to be free for the community. Everything that we do is donation based. So we pick a different charity every season, and any money that we collect during these free classes goes to the charity of the season. This season we have chosen our family in Dorchester, Shua. So Shua was a really great friend of ours. She came here when she was 7 years old from Jamaica, got a scholarship to BU, ended up working in the public school system, had 4 children, and she died suddenly this summer. So we've actually raised $420, isn't that crazy, $422 in the last 2 weeks, just from people dropping some money in the donation bucket during Soul Saturday and during our breathwork and yoga classes. So thank you, all of you, so much for that and for your support. What else? So this Saturday at the church at 63 Washington Street, we are having our annual Ugly Sweater Party, which is also a fun swap. So you bring a gift, that's worth $25, and that's how you get into the swap. It's usually pretty competitive, pretty funny, and downright dangerous at times. I'm not gonna lie, I think we had some people like fighting over some really funny presents last year. So tune in for that. And then the night before, this Friday, which is already the 16th of December, by the way. Like, I don't know where this month is going. It's like insane. But this is going to be exciting. A full-blown 2-hour breathwork actual like class on Friday night with Matt, and we're going to be opening the doors to the yoga studio upstairs, and we're going to invade, and we're going to head up to the 3rd floor. So we're going to meet at 7 per usual down at the chapel. You guys can freely medicate, socialize for about a half hour. Then around 7:30 we're going to go upstairs to the Open Doors Yoga Studio, which is just absolutely phenomenal and beautiful, and we're going to just really spend some time together in our cozy little nest.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting just to have the space up there, and I think we're going to have a fair amount of people showing up, so yeah, I'm pretty excited.
You definitely want to RSVP to that then,
yeah,
right? So pcsam.org. You just go to our events calendar. You can see all the DJs that we have coming up and all the different classes and workshops that we have to offer here on there. So yeah, Matt. So what is the plan for today? How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Very relaxed, rested.
Good.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of just like do like a little warm up for like the focus for this, because I think for Friday night's breathwork piece, like moving into this time of the year for a lot of people can be so stressful. And, you know, sometimes family is a part of that, or the stress of the money that maybe people are spending. And I think there's a lot of triggers that come up this time of year that maybe are not around during the rest of the year, or maybe some extra ones.
Yeah, I think people sometimes are reminded, unfortunately, about the things that they don't have, especially if they're lonely or whatever. So, you know, again, this is why these community places are so important, because we do know that it is a difficult time for people. But, you know, we're here to help you cope as we kind of are sliding into the darkest day of the year, right? But do you know the light will come back? I can feel it.
Well, today's a beautiful sunny day. So.
What is this in your hand, Matt?
It's just a little thing to hit my chime with.
Oh, hit your chime with. What's it made out of?
Nice and relaxing. I forgot.
It looks like, I don't know, soapstone maybe?
I can never remember anything.
That's okay. That's why we breathe.
Yeah. So what we're going to be talking about a little bit is like just like love and coming from the heart space. And because like I think like in my days, like I was always feeding off of energy of other people and allowing like the energies to affect me and then affect as well like my mannerisms or how I speak to people, and or it kind of like controlled my day as well too. We ever kind of traveled down that road? You know, a little bit. You know, and it's not until we learn to come from within, from our own light, from our own energies, and to start to, you know, for myself to start balancing out my different energy centers or chakra areas, and to start you know, coming from that space. And I think the heart in particular is where I like to really come from when I'm dealing with people or just going about my day. And so with the breathwork piece that we're going to do on Friday, my focus is going to be to help people find the space within the heart, the light, and to also to teach through the breath how to use that energy from within to come out and to fill our energy field, fill our physical body first with that, and then to fill the energy field around us, and then to have that energy field also affect other people. Because I think sometimes we don't really realize like the energy that we're putting out into our own physical being and out to the universe or out within our boundaries of our energy field. And if we're coming from the heart too, like a lot of times people are like, you know, the energy, our energy field might be say 3 to 5 or 6 feet maybe. But if we're really kind of coming from that heart space as much as possible, that energy field is going to go out even further.
Would you say limitless?
I would say limitless, absolutely.
Limitless is the word
yeah, I mean,
that
we
came
can
to
really
me.
put out a lot of energy, yeah.
Yeah.
And it can really affect, like, if someone's having, like, a rough day, and they enter our space, you know, that energy can be so strong that energy alone can help shift them.
I know a lot of the exercises
Yeah.
that we've done in the past, Matt, you've really had us use imagery
Right.
to imagine that that powerful energy light body just
Yeah.
slowly increasing around our entire magnetic field, right?
Yeah.
And magnetism is also something that I've been working on, and just thinking about like
Exactly.
the words that you speak, the thoughts that you think, and how those are going to attract, you know, the positive and negative things into your life that you're calling in, consciously or unconsciously. You're doing it. It's all you, you know. Have you ever noticed, like, you stub your toe, then you break a glass, then you,
Yeah.
you know, trip on the cat, then you slip
Right.
on the steps going, it's just like, it always snowballs because you just kind of put yourself in that, like, negative vibration, right? So I think these breathwork tools and, like, all of the things that we've been working on here at PCS&M allow you to take your power back. And the beautiful part about these things is that they're free, you guys. Your breath is accessible, it's free, it's always there. Nobody can take it away from you. Only you take it away from you when you hold it. So, you know, I think like the heart, again, like a lot of these heart opening exercises are so great for this season, you know, to just remind us about the joy and the gratitude that really, and the light that we're supposed to be bringing into this, not the materialism and the stress and the, I didn't do enough, you know, like sinking feeling that a lot of people get. So I think coming at this from a place of the heart and saying, I'm going to do what I can and it's going to be enough is a nice place to be.
Yeah, and I think also like when we start coming from the heart as well, it's also like we slow down a little bit as well too, and then for myself, I feel as though I'm able to select my thoughts and my words a little bit differently, because like, you know, we go into our closet each morning, right, and then you pick out your outfit for the day and what you're gonna look like and what you want to give off, right, but it's almost the same thing with our thoughts. When we think about it, if we're really coming from within, from the energy within, we can be more selective for how we're going to speak with people, deal with customers, and more importantly, like how we're dealing with ourselves, you know, and what energy that we're coming from. Yeah.
I love that because especially since we've been doing this and you had given us the homework last season to practice the conscious connected breath, and I was choosing the time between sleeps, I call it, which was when I would wake up and not be able to fall back to sleep either in the middle of the night
Right.
or that kind of sweet spot first thing in the morning before I actually have to get up but my eyes are open. And I've been doing that lately, like if I'm like, I know I want to get to that yoga class, but it's so cold and like I'm just having a hard time. I lay there and I visualize the feeling that I get during Shavasana,
Right.
and that warmth and that love, and then I'm like, how could I not go? How could I not get up? It's almost like I'm quantuming myself into the feeling of the reward in order to get my butt there,
Right.
to feel the pain to get to the reward, you know?
Exactly.
It's like a good way to trick yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the journey this Friday, like if you've done breath work with me before, we're really just going to be focused on the heart and coming from the heart. Last night I was up late, like going through the music and kind of doing my process for how I pick music for breathwork pieces. And so I'm kind of excited for it because I feel like I have like a little storyline with it. And we're not really going to be diving into any energies that we want to break up or set, or traumas that we want to set ourselves free from, but really just to put like a really heavy focus on coming from the heart with everything that we do each day. And yeah.
I love that.
Exactly. And I like the comment here too that was just written, just that we need to slow down and just kind of breathe. And with that being said, and with what you said earlier with the homework, I actually kind of want to start off today with just like that heart coherence breath with the 5 and 5 through the nose, which I do pretty much almost, I think, every podcast. We at least start off with it lightly. But what I'm going to do today is we'll go into it a little bit deeper, and with the nose breath into the stomach. This is a count. I say 5 and 5, 5 in, for the inhale, 5 count for the exhale. But realistically, it's if you're not used to doing this on a daily basis, it can be 3, 4, or 5 count. Whatever is working more naturally for you with this breath, and I think since we're at that 1 year point or just past it, to maybe even restate this as like a challenge to restart the new year again.
I love it.
And so with this breath, the 3 or 4 or 5 count, it's really about you breathing in and out at a comfortable level. We're not trying to, because I think when I first started doing this, for me to inhale for 5 was actually stress. And then plus I was trying to start breathing in the stomach. And, because I was such a chest breather for so long. So it was actually pretty hard to do. So I had to kind of shorten it. So I think if anyone out there, you don't have to stay with my count. I'll kind of count it off lightly in the beginning and just kind of let you fall into your own breath. And this is like a common breath that we use in breath work as like a 21-day challenge to start developing like a new habit. And so usually I suggest or offer that this is a breath to be used twice a day for 5 minutes. And it's nice, I think, to start out. Now, did you ever do like the full 21-day? Did you ever make it that long?
I can't say that I do anything for
Okay.
21 straight days, probably, but I did the best that I could.
Okay.
I definitely, I guess, like, I didn't do it at a consistent time every day.
Okay.
I used it sometimes when I was doing things like driving and getting frustrated, or when I was really annoyed with the kids, or anybody for that matter.
Right.
But I did it most consistently though in my bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place, actually, because I think, if we wake up and to start off the day that way, before we go get the coffee, before, if you have a family at home or what have you, that chaos kind of starts to kick in. And it's also like a nice way to end the day, because I'm always kind of pushing for people to like not have lights on like we have now. Go to more candlelight at night, no more, tone down the electronics, get the eyes more just with natural light, including because I don't I love candles. And I think it's just a beautiful way to really end the day. So we'll just put it out there as we draw to the end of this year and to the start of the new year coming. I'll invite everyone to try and start this challenge. And if you're, on the comments on the Instagram too, like, we can kind of, I'm going to bring it up every week, I think, for the next month.
Yeah.
And,
I like to meditate and breathe in the shower. I sit in the shower and settle my brain. Yeah, that's a great place to do it.
Yeah.
Except for when you have to pay for your water bill. No, just kidding.
Well, I love that comment too, though, because when we're taking a shower too, like, to do your breath work in the shower is super beautiful.
Yep.
But also you can set like an intention, because water is also so cleansing. And
water radiates that thought in the frequency.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Right.
I always like envision when I'm trying to let something go, like it going
Yeah.
down the drain, like
Right.
like you don't have anything on me.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I think, frequency is so important, because we're going to be talking. That's going to be really a big part of Friday night too. But the water, when we're taking a shower, and we set like an intention, do the breath work like that was just suggested in the comments, and then set that intention of cleansing ourselves and making ourselves a little bit more pure.
Magic happens in the shower, Anna says. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So I think that's a nice intention setting for
I
breath
love
work,
that.
and also another way to start the day.
Great.
But yeah, when I was setting a 5-minute timer, like in the beginning, I never set a timer anymore, but when I was first learning how to do this, I would set like a timer. And I remember 5 minutes being like, God,
I agree.
is this ever going to end?
Totally.
No,
isn't that
and
funny?
now it's like, it's so funny, because now I can go like an hour and be like, do I have to stop this now?
One other thing that I wanted
Yeah.
to touch upon about this time of year with
Yeah.
the breath work is just our immune systems.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, like, if you guys ever have a chance, if you haven't heard of Wim Hof, he's the man who ran up to the top of Mount Everest in basically his underwear and some boots. And then, everybody thought, oh, he's like a superhuman person. And then he trained, I think, brought like 13 other humans up to do the exact same thing, just using his simple techniques. Then they took it a step further and they injected him with like a virus, and they had him in a hospital setting, and he actually was able to, all 13 of them were able to fight the virus off just using nothing but their breath and these techniques. So, I think, like, if you guys are, whether it's a depressive slump, which again, I heard the other day, depression just means deep reset, and just giving yourself that time and permission to rest. And if we reframe it as depression and maybe just resetment or, reinstatement of, our own intentions and boundaries, and kind of like turn it around and make it not such a negative thing. I don't think.
I like that you actually just brought that up, because that's actually like really important too when we start thinking of the body being diseased or sick or anything. And what's the name again? What was that?
That's Charlene and.
No, I know she was asking. What's
Oh,
the
she
name
said, "What's the
again?
name?" Oh, Wim Hof.
Oh, the Wim Hof, right?
Yeah, Wim Hof.
When we start coming more from the heart, and for myself, like, the more that is who I am every day, and it's just like more natural now. For myself, like a lot of the podcast we did last week or the week before, I can't remember now, when we were talking about like being in our minds trapped in that room that's kind of shut, or maybe that was my last breathwork piece. I don't know. I can't remember, but so much disease and stuff comes from that, from our mindset. And I forgot where I was going with this. And when we start coming from the heart, we're able to heal in the body's, obtaining better health naturally, through the frequency that we're giving off, through good vibrations, and then we're not allowing for the mind to go into those trapped rooms. So what we're going to do with this breath right now is we're falling to this 5 and 5 count breath. I'm just going to invite you, because it's so hard to say, I want you to sit down and meditate. So any thoughts that do come up for you today, like we do this quite a bit on the show here, but just see if you can acknowledge the thought, allow for yourself to find where it is in the body that's activating one of your energy centers, and then just kind of breathe into that energy center, release it through the exhale. And then just go back into the focus and drop it into your breath. So I'm going to grab some water because my mouth is...
So yes, this is a good time to get comfortable, everybody, and get water.
Thank you. And so at this time, I'll just, invite everyone to get nice and comfortable, to sit back. And maybe just take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And just kind of a strong exhale for the first one. And then just kind of on the second and third one, you'll see that the exhale gets a little weaker and weaker, or less strength to it, and just kind of release the morning. Set yourself into this moment. Any sounds that you hear, my voice or anything extra, just allow for this just to become a vibration, something that you're breathing in as we fall into the nose breath, breathing into the stomach. And I'll do a little count just so that everyone can experience to see what the 5 count for an inhale and exhale feels like. And like I said, if you need to shorten it up a little bit, that's fine. I'm going to count down from 3 and just exhale at the end of that, and then we'll breathe in for 5 on the inhale and start that way. So just allow for yourself just to kind of drop in to your breath and the vibrations around you. In 3, 2, 1, exhale and breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last round. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just maintain this rhythm and whatever works for you. Don't worry about trying to count. Just feel it. Just fall into the sensation of your breath and fall into a nice rhythmic pattern that does not change. Breathing into the stomach, allow for the vibration, this frequency. And just breathe in the vibration as we bring our attention to our breath. And when we try this challenge, it's really about developing a relationship with the breath. So if you're new to this, this is really an opportunity to allow for the thoughts to come in, see where the body's being triggered, and then just fall into the sensation of breath. And really, for me, developing a relationship with my breath has been a huge part of my transformation, or the transformation I've been able to create within my journey or my life. And so developing a relationship with it is really feeling the flow of the air. Feel it go into the nose how it affects even the hairs in the nose, how it turns and travels down the esophagus and fills the stomach. And I think sometimes even the more interesting part for me sometimes is the exhale and how the air leaves. And just keeping the breath nice and gentle. And with this practice, starting the day, like sometimes I used to wake up a lot and I would start off stressed right away. Thoughts would come to me from the day before, or maybe something that I need to do today. That would just get the stress going, get the heart rate going. And so another beautiful piece with this breath is to check the whole body with this breath. And we can bring our attention to usually starting maybe with the feet, and we just kind of check how we're feeling, like in your toes, the soles of your feet for grounding, the tops of the feet into the ankles, and we just kind of scan the whole body. And any tensions that you come across, we can focus our breath and the energy and breathe the energy in to that area that may be tensed up or tight as you check like your calves, your knees. Going up into the hips. And as we hit the energy centers, like the hips, the lower hips, this is where we may have like a lot of activation. There's a lot of our trauma, our childhood traumas that have occurred in adulthood. A lot of this is trapped in the hips area, in those bottom 3 chakras. And so this is an area that we work on quite a bit with the breath work, where individuals may find that they're working on this energy center. And then check that heart space in your shoulders. And when we're even checking everything, check everything, like the tendons, the joints, the face and the neck, really important areas to really, how's the jawline feel, the muscles around the cheekbones, the muscles around your eyes, your tongue. And just take time to breathe in and scan the body through this breath. And maybe this will help to give you thought to adding this in every day for the next 21 days, if you can try and do it once or twice a day. It's just it's really to start off our day this way and to put ourselves into check. Before we begin. And you may feel different sensations, tingly feelings. And to practice breathing the energy, because the breath is not just breathing in and out through the nose or using the mouth when we use it, but the breath is also we can bring in the energy from our energy field around us. And we can allow for this energy to be breathed into the body through every cell, every pore. And really, when you hear me say breathe with the body, this is what I'm seeking out, is to try and breathe in and feel the body move feel it breathe with the nose. And just drop into the sensation of the whole body. With this breath. And when we fall into this sensation, we're not only developing a relationship with the breath and how we can use it to ignite the body and to feel this at a chemical level, like chemically in the body, this is shifting and changing. And when we think of health and stress and sickness, like the breath can be really used so that we can fall into the body and start making these changes within at a deep level. And and as we begin to develop this relationship with the breath, and then we start adding in the different types of breath work, or the different ways of breathing to help heal the body, and falling into the breath work. This Friday night we'll be using 3 different types of specific breath works pieces with the journey on Friday. And so since we just kind of scan the body, we'll go ahead and try and lightly change the breath for a moment. And let's just realign the energy centers just a little bit. So I'm just going to invite you to place your feet flat on the ground and allow yourself to ground. And we're just going to allow for the grounding energy on the inhale from the earth. If you have shoes on at home, I would recommend taking them off. The rubber on shoes actually will block being able to fully ground with Mother Earth. And as we breathe in, I'm just going to invite you to breathe in the energy from the earth and just draw this energy up through the soles of the feet, just like what we just did with the scan. And we're going to kind of direct the energy right into the tailbone, and then just draw right up through all the chakras, right up to the crown. And then on the exhale, we're just going to breathe out through the mouth. And very slowly just allow for the breath to exit out, and just fully breathe out a full exhale. When we're cleansing, we just want to let all this negative energies or anything that we're cleansing out, just let it all go out through the breath. As we continue to draw in through the nose, focus on drawing, feeling the energy from the earth. And you can just set the intention of a cleansing, of just cleansing the energy fields, the chakras, cleansing every cell, all your organs, everything. Just allow for everything to fall into balance. And as you do this, I'm just going to add some vibrational sound. And then I just invite you just to drop back into the nose breath. And, you know, if you've been able to fall into the sensation and the breath and really how we feel, this is what we're going to really work on pretty heavily on Friday night with the heart space. And really developing that relationship within our bodies, the energy within. And to really start using this space from within us to help guide us through our days, through each journey, each waking day. And to come from this energy, not the energy of others. But to give off our energy as we develop this relationship with how we feel within. Because the answers for everything lay right inside of us. It's right there for us. And it's just waiting for us to wake up and to realign ourselves with our inner world. And, you know, I feel like we come into this journey when we're born, and we still as infants are able to remember this, but we lose it. And then everything becomes so external. And even when we think of like breath work, and part of the beauty of it is when we think of childhood traumas or any traumas that have occurred in adulthood, like a lot of these traumas, they grow and they fester over time, and they never really go away because they live within us emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's always there until we're able to. And when I was able to find the power within, that was the first time that I was able to ever release a lot of the stuff and to move more into the heart space, and come and be more present with myself, sensations within, and then to share this with the other people around me, and they don't even know I'm sharing it with them. But you can see it. You can see the glow in other people when they enter your space, the smile. Sometimes maybe if there's humans that trigger you or people who are negative, a lot of times you might even find that they move away from you as well. They may not even be able to enter the space the more that we create this. They can feel really heavy discomfort entering our area, our energetic field. And to end this session today, I'm just going to let everyone have like a little energy breath for a minute. And I'm just going to invite you to, and I'll count this out and just try and stay with it. We'll do 5 rounds of this breath just to help create some energy within as we begin to start our day. We're going to breathe in for 5, and we're going to exhale for 2. No, let's do 4 and 2. So let's breathe in for 4, exhale for 2. We're going to do it, I'll just invite you to do it through the mouth and nose. If you can do it just through the nose, that's great. If you need to add the mouth in, please do so. Just do whatever is correct for you. This is just a way to bring in some quick energy to the body. So if you're feeling depleted during the day, you can try this breath out. You don't have to do 5 rounds. You can sometimes just do 2 or 3. So on 3, we're just going to do just a nice exhale, and then we'll draw in for 4. So 1, 2, 3, let it out. And inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2. Last one. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2. And then just drop right in and relax. Feel the energy. Feel it come alive within you. And just allow for yourself to kind of re-enter the space or the room that you are in. And just slowly begin to wiggle. And just kind of lightly bring yourself back. So that just kind of came to me today, just to maybe work to bring that challenge up, the 21-day challenge. It wasn't what I was planning on going on that route today, but I think as we are drawing to the end of the year, to take more time for ourselves and to find the breath. And if you are starting to have family or extra stresses or just any stress in general, I think too to remember just to take breaks for ourselves. A break can be, one breath. It can be 10 seconds. It can be a minute. It can be go to the window and focus on the sun or the trees. And if you're in a city, there's always nature somewhere to bring it in somehow. But some people that I've worked with too, that are really high stress, I used to have them. I've had a few people where they set like a timer to go off every 90 minutes, and just to take like a 1-minute break, and just fall into this breath as well throughout the course of the day. Because I think when we bring it in tiny amounts too, because 5 minutes really isn't that much to start your day with. Another beautiful piece too is writing, going back to the old-fashioned paper and pencil or pen, and so I'll invite with everyone as well too with this 21-day challenge is to actually go get a notebook today, just a small one, and just use it just for journaling when you do the 5-minute breath, and maybe after the breath is finished, just to kind of free write and just write down what you're feeling, anything that's coming alive for you, and just maybe take 1 minute and just write down whatever is coming to you. You don't have to think about what you want to write, just let it come to you and write it down. And I love journaling too, because I think last week I actually picked up like one that I've been carrying with me for like a year, and I'm kind of not using it anymore, and I just kind of went through it, and I was like, whoa. Not that I like to look at the past very much, but it was just kind of like cool to see, just to kind of read about some stuff that maybe I was going through like a year ago or whatever, and just to see the growth or the changes. Like, I forgot that happened. I was just kind of scanning through it, And I remember last year there's like the huge stressor. I think you might remember when I came in all freaked out. Remember when I just
Which
walked
time?
off my job?
Oh, I'm like, which time?
I just basically resigned from my job.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, I totally, like, I have moved so far past that that I totally forgot that I even did that. You know, it was like so bizarre. But something in me told me to do it, to resign and to just like be done. But I'm still there. You know, it was meant, you know. And I think that's even trusting our intuition as well too. Sometimes it's like, what? Do what? And I was totally freaked out. But I think sometimes the journaling is just really beautiful because it kind of keeps us more honest with sticking with the breath, but also sometimes to go back, and not that I wanted to live in the past, but just to kind of see where I came from, because I forget what happened, and not that I really need to remember, but it's just nice to acknowledge and see the growth and the changes that have happened. I think sometimes.
Absolutely. And, I also think of journaling as a rehearsal. Like,
Yeah.
often, like, this is something I learned later in life, and why I'm very happy that social media was not in existence when I was a teenager.
I know, right?
But I find that writing an email sometimes and then never sending it, or waiting until the morning and reading it after you've had a good night's sleep and then deciding if it's exactly, because once you my mom taught me this, like, she used to say never put anything in writing, and I don't agree with that necessarily. Just don't put anything in writing unless you're willing to really bet your butt on it. You know what I mean? Because again, it's kind of more permanent. Kind of like when you say something, you can't take it back. But, I think sometimes just, especially when you need to set a boundary, and I think that that's what you're talking about you needed to do with work, you get it out on paper, and then that way you're so much more grounded when you have the conversation. You've kind of let the emotion out with the pen and the paper, and then you can almost like read from it from your mind's eye, and just kind of disconnect from the emotion, because you've kind of already lived the emotion, and you can now detach from the other person's reaction to what you have to say.
Exactly.
A little bit easier, because you kind of already put it out there and we're expecting the reaction, so you can prepare for the reaction while you're journaling almost. It's neat. It's another way to like quantum field, I think, in a way, your mind, like, project the outcome of something before it happens.
Yeah, and we can use the writing too to start creating like our new reality as well too. Like with the breath, we can start creating the reality. Our mind can create it, and then the pen and the paper through the free writing. Because once we start creating the new reality through our body, through our emotions, physically, what we're giving off, then that reality is going to happen. Because we're already living it too, and to write it out.
And as we release that emotional pain, we're going to start to relieve physical pain, which is because you'll start to realize that half of the physical pain that people experience is actually emotional.
Yeah, emotional.
A lot of the diseases that we get, it's a disease in the mind, which then manifests in the body, right? So, like, I was just noticing, Matt, with this particular breathing exercise that we just did, and I was just thinking about this for a tool, what a great tool this would be for somebody who had extreme limb pain, because I almost had to, like, look. I had my fingers touching, but at a certain point, I couldn't feel my hands anymore, or my arms at all. And I remember I had the conscious thought, like, wow, if I was in pain, would I not even feel the pain, because I can't feel my fingers and I can't tell if they're touching anymore. So again, I find that, that levitation feeling, that freeing, it's like crazy how when you fill and flood your cells, with just oxygen, it's just like, it's like a miracle that we all have had access to, that, like, I feel like it's just awakening in me, you know what I mean? Like something that in the last year I just never really put a lot of stock. Up until the last year, I didn't put a lot of stock. I had seen Breathwork, I'd seen the word written on paper, and I knew I enjoy meditating in a yoga class, but like, I think the Breathwork allows me to find stillness in a way that I've never been able to find stillness before. So thanks, Matt.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there is planning on attending Friday night too, if you could also plan, I think it's more comfortable too to bring, if you have like a yoga pad and your own blanket, if you want to bring a pillow. Sometimes pillows can be good for the head. Also, sometimes putting pillows under our knees.
Or sacrum. My lower back gets a little bony. I have a bony butt.
So if anyone is coming out, I just invite you to bring that. We'll have stuff here for people as well too if you don't have it, but it's, I think, definitely a comfortable thing to have for yourself.
Yeah, shout out
So,
to Open Door Yoga Studios. We
for letting us
greatly
use their
appreciate
space. Yeah.
you opening the doors to our community here. And again, the Friday night group is always alcohol free. We do call it the Integrated Recovery Practices support group. And so originally it kind of started out for people in recovery, but then we realized we're all recovering from something. So it's
Yeah.
kind of turned into a combination of, burnt out healers, burnt out caregivers, those in recovery, and those who are just kind of looking for a network of people to explore all these
Yeah.
different modalities for healing with. So whether that's breath work, yoga, meditation, art therapy, we're going to be doing some somatic movement.
Yeah.
You never really know what we're going to be up to.
I know, it's kind of fun.
around
It's
here.
nice that it's so different now every Friday night.
Well, yeah,
I
what
love
we've
it.
done is, so we should
So,
explain a little bit about the
yeah.
membership too, because once again, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So if you go to our website, pcsam.org, and you click on the support button, you will see there's a couple different levels of membership. You'll see a $25 mission support and a $50 warrior support. That basically is the same exact level of support. It just depends on what your budget is. And then, of course, we are allowing a family to join for the $50 level a month. And what that allows us to do is to create these programs and experiences that we can just have be community based. So a lot of folks just can't afford an $18 or $20 price tag per class, especially if you want to go to 4 or 5 of them a week, right, Matt? I mean, that
Exactly.
really adds
Yeah.
up. So our goal here is you give us the $25 a month. The more people that we have really subscribe to this, the more programs we can create. And then we intend to stream everything here on YouTube so that it can live for all eternity, and that if we want to try to do this a couple times a day, then you could just rewatch the video here on YouTube. So once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of those that have supported us, and once again for everybody that contributed to Shua's GoFundMe to support her 4 children in this time of giving. And yeah, I would say, we're going to have a big meeting in the next couple of weeks to really lay out the first quarter of our programming for next year, which is really
Yeah, it's
exciting.
gonna be exciting.
So
Yeah, I'm
stay
excited
tuned,
for next year.
everybody. And oh, my mommy's on here.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
mommy.
Yeah,
So
and
I
we're
hope you've
We're
enjoyed
doing one
this.
international one too.
Oh,
next
yeah, that's
month.
right. Matt's
That's
gonna
gonna
be
be exciting. I
Yeah,
think.
where are you gonna be, Matt?
I'm gonna be in Brighton, UK.
He's
So
gonna be
we're-
in
so
Brighton.
yeah, so we'll do a live. Because you were like canceled for that week. I'm like,
I
no.
wasn't. I said, do you want to cancel it, Matt? But no, we will be.
We're
We will
fighting
be
now.
international. We will be
Yeah.
international breath
So I
stars.
think that'd be a good one for the start of the year.
Awesome.
And I'll have my friend join us for that one too, as well too.
Awesome.
See what happens.
Ooh, and that's the other thing, guys. If you want to participate in the Friday night group, but you can't make it here, just reach out to me. We're going to start Zooming those groups. We're not going to be broadcasting them on YouTube because of the sensitive nature of some of the conversations that we have. We want it to be a safe space, as always, for healing
Yeah.
and connection. So yeah, any questions, reach out. Anything else, Matt?
Yeah. No. Love you all.
Very
Just
good.
hope to see you on Friday.
Thank you to
and,
everybody who showed up in
yeah.
person. Thank you to everybody that tuned in here on our YouTube page and, of course, on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
Have a
hopefully we'll
beautiful
see you
day.
guys soon.